The Mount Moon Review podcast, while a podcast about Pokemon, is not intended for children. You can expect some instances of adult humor, coarse language, and adult situations. Parental discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 47 of the Mount Moon Review podcast, the only podcast where both hosts are partially colorblind. I am your host, the Razgrees, with my co-host, the Blue Duck Golduck, bringing you everything you need to know about the world of Pokemon that's happened in the last week in less than an hour. This has been an exciting week, Duck.
Yep. Yes, it has.
And as for the current events and politics, that's where we end. So let's talk about Pokemon. What do you got for us this week, Ducky?
Well, we know that the placeholder date for the Isle of Armor DLC is it was June 30th or 31st or something, late in the month of June, and I believe tomorrow we're going to receive the actual date of its release.
Oh, thank God!
There's going to be a Pokemon Direct tomorrow at 9:30.
Now, is that 9:30
Eastern Standard Time?
Eastern? Okay.
Yes.
They traditionally, don't they do them Pacific?
Well, no, they just reveal their time for Japan, and then we have to figure it out from there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited. I think we're gonna get probably some new Pokemon revealed, maybe some new Galarian forms.
Yay! 24-hour stream.
Probably not.
Hope not.
The release date of the I'm sure we'll get the release date of the Isle of Armor. I'm predicting it's going to be the 19th, and that's when the Galarian Meowth event we talked about last week would end. It would end on the 18th.
Gotcha.
So I'm pretty sure they're just going to roll right into the 19th. That just makes the most sense to me, but who knows?
Yep. If you want to check that out, if you listen to last week's episode, we talk about the mystery gifts that they're giving out for Sword and Shield right now, and how the actual directions and how to get them in case you've never done it before. But I think Duck's probably right. You're probably going to culminate with that ending and Isle of Armor coming out subsequently. That's our guess. Yeah, that's our guess.
The Meowth dates start on the 11th, and I assume it's 7 days, which would put it on the 18th.
Yeah, it sounds about right. So we'll see what happens, but that's we have a pretty good track record of guessing these things correctly. But then again, Nintendo could throw us a curveball and say, and it's available now. Right now.
That would be amazing.
It wouldn't be the first. It would not be the first time they've done that, though. So it's possible.
I've got a quick prediction I want to make. They, as their little Isle of Armor, and the Crown Tundra thing they did when they did that Nintendo Direct, right after that they uploaded an event where we could catch a Galarian Slowpoke, right?
Yes, and it was immediately you could actually do it during the Direct.
Exactly.
So it's possible.
And then they showed that little trailer too that had these sketches of some new Pokemon designs that we hadn't seen, like the Galarian Venusaur and Galarian Blastoise, which we're assuming we're going to get in the Isle of Armor. They also had Slow Bro and Slow King scratched out.
Okay, I'm listening.
We could tell that it was a Slowbro, but it was blurry and we couldn't tell stuff. And then they had the crown on Slow King's head all scribbled out. So I am assuming that the reason they gave us a Slowpoke, a Galarian Slowpoke, is because there's going to be a Galarian Slow King and a Galarian Slowbro. And in the Isle of Armor, we're going to get the Slowbro. They already confirmed that's where the island or the item to evolve Slowpoke, that's in Isle of Armor. The one to evolve in the Slow King is in the Crown Tundra.
Okay.
I bet you the Slow King or the Slowbro that we get is covered in armor. Instead of it's just the tail being bitten, it's gonna interact with a different Pokemon to evolve, and it's going to be covered in armor.
So
it's not going to be shoulder.
It's going to be a Galarian form of Slowking.
Well, Slowbro.
Slowbro.
Slowbro gets bit on the tail, and then it evolves. And if it gets bit on the head, then it evolves into Slowking. There's going to be a different Pokemon for each of them, I'm betting.
It's possible. I mean, it's definitely possible. I never really liked the evolutions for Slowbro just because they. Yeah, it's supposed to be a shelter, but it never looks like a shelter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always bugged me.
The theory going around the internet is actually that Marnie or Toxapex is going to be the Pokemon that goes on Slowbro's head, or Slowpoke's head, to be the Galarian Slowking, and it'll be a poison type.
It's possible. I mean, I'd like to. I definitely want to see it. Just get to the continuity so it actually makes sense.
Yeah. There's rumors going on about. I want to talk about the rumors next week and see if any of the information in those rumors is confirmed in the trailer tomorrow. But one of them is saying it's Galarian Corsola on the Slowbro and Marini on the head on Slowking.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be able to find out. So if you do watch this on Monday night when it comes out live, let us know if Duck was right. Say so.
Yeah.
So, because unfortunately, I'll probably be at work. I'll try to watch it direct, but we'll see what happens.
I'm probably going to get to watch it live. So.
Is that when you're going to run to the bathroom?
I'm working alone tomorrow, so.
So there's a whole lot going to get done.
I'm going to take my lunch break.
Yeah. You're going to get a whole lot done tomorrow.
There was also some more of the same data miners that found the moves that were added to Pokemon Home last week. Kept digging, and they found some new items being added to the game.
Okay. New items are always fun.
New items. One is Max Honey. The other one is, and Max Mushrooms. I believe these could either be cooking ingredients or, please, items you pop to make horde encounters.
I'm going to guess that they are cooking items.
We need a horde encounters bag. 100%.
So what is a horde encounter?
They were in X and Y. If you used the item Honey or the move Sweet Scent, it would make 5 Pokemon pop up at once.
Right, I remember that. I do remember that.
And here's the thing. If 5 Pokemon are popping up, that's 5 checks to see if you got a shiny.
Oh, my Lord.
At once. It's at once. So you always get shinies. That was the fastest way to level up your Pokemon in X and Y, and I have shinies of all the Horde Encounter Pokemon because, I was EV training, I was, grinding XP. Please bring it back. It makes the game so much better when you have that, when you have Horde Encounters.
Make Duck's dream a reality. Duck needs this in these uncertain times.
two more items. Galarica Twig and Galarica Cuff. I have no idea what these are. Maybe they sound kind of like evolution items. Maybe there's a Pokemon that gets a split evolution, kind of like Flapple? No.
Yeah.
Applin into Flapple, or yeah. So maybe it's like that because it has that. Those are both apples, the tart apple and or whatever they're called. I don't remember anymore.
No, I get you. I think everybody understands what you're trying to say.
Okay. Yeah. We have the style card. Who knows what that is? It doesn't sound too crazy. It's probably like a trainer card you can edit with more detail or something.
If I had to guess, it probably has something to do with trainer cards.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The armor pass, which is probably a key item that you're going to use to take the boat or the Corviknight flying taxi to the Isle of Armor.
Now,
the EX...
just briefly, because we got to refresh people's memory and mine. With the DLC pass, when you purchase it, you're getting both Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra together.
Yes, Crown Tundra. I actually there's been some confusion on the internet. You get both DLCs for one purchase of $30 for that version. So if you have Sword and Shield, you have to spend a total of $60.
Right, but as long as as long as you purchase Isle of Armor, you're getting the Crown Tundra as well.
Right.
So
you're essentially buying. You have to buy both of them at once for a price of 30.
But that also then makes sense that since you are getting both, that you would have to find an item in the Isle of Armor to get to the Crown Tundra. So that makes a lot of sense with that with the Armor Pass or Tundra Pass, whatever you're calling it. So that makes a lot of sense.
Next item this is interesting. There's 2 charms: the EXP charm and the Mark charm. Who knows? I think the EXP charm might kind of be like maybe a lucky egg kind of deal where you can activate it and it might double the XP, but it's an item you can always have or turn on and off if you want. That would be pretty awesome. I play a lot of like ROM hacks and all that, and the ones that give you the lucky egg early on that doubles the experience for the Pokemon holding it, amazing. It speeds things up so fast. So if we can get an item like that in Sword and Shield, that'd be great. And then the Mark charm, and Marks is actually something I just learned about. I noticed a while back when I was playing competitive online, some of the Pokemon, if you used a rental code, it would be like the once well-trained Pokemon, right? It was kind of confusing why that text was there. Apparently, there's certain marks you can get that label the Pokemon as something, and it's like 1 in 50 to get a mark like that, and they can only be generated by Pokemon you catch in the wild. So you can't breed for it. I don't know. I'm not sure about this. I want to look more into it.
But really, all it's doing is adding a text line. It's not actually.
It adds a line of text when you send the Pokemon out. But if it's 1 in 50, only available on wild Pokemon, think about the odds of getting a shiny marked Pokemon, right?
Now available on eBay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's in the generator or not.
If it isn't now, it probably will be.
The last item they have is the Armorite ore, and I have no clue what that could be. Maybe a evolution item. Oh, actually, armor. Galarian Slowbro is going to be covered in armor.
Armorite. There you go, Ducky. You figured it out. You cracked the code.
Yeah, so that's what I think all the items are going to do, and that's my theory.
You cracked the code while sipping from a Charmander cup.
Exactly. It's my favorite cup.
Of course it is. So I don't have the. I ended up doing a computer restart right before we started, so I lost all my documents. Are we going on the TCG at this point?
Well, right before we go into TCG, let's go into the your update on the Pokemon movie Coco. I know.
Let me just, for those of you listening on the audio version, if you did not hear my eyes rolling, you can observe them on the video version of the podcast.
All the posters that were up and had the date that you can start buying tickets in Japan, they have slapped stickers over those, and instead of that date, it says coming soon, which means they're probably back getting ready to release it for production, which means we may get the Shiny Celebi and Zorua. Is it Zarude? Dang. Zarude event. They need to stop. They can't name mythical Pokemon with the same letter.
Yeah. A lot of movies are doing that. Some movies went to a strictly digital release with Amazon Prime, stuff like that. Other services. But then a lot of movies, too, are just delaying. Like, I am extremely butthurt that Ghostbusters got moved back till 2021. So they pushed it back an entire year to get away from COVID-19 so they can actually try to get a decent release. Because right now, releasing a movie in theaters would be suicidal. No one can go to the theater, so you're not going to get, box office. And typically, those first couple weeks, the only times you make money off anything. So they have to push it back. It's understandable. It's just obnoxious.
Yeah. Sucks.
Even my animes are getting pushed back because there's no one there to dub the damn things. And I'm getting really kind of butthurt, especially with My Hero Academia right now. I know. I got 2 episodes left. I'm about ready just to bite the bullet and watch them with subtitles.
I did.
I know you did.
Chills, bro. Chills.
Well, for those of you that are into anime, cheap plug of the night, you can listen to the Untitled Anime Show on our YouTube channel. And the month of June is going to be the month of My Hero. And that's all the preview I'm going to give you. So check out the YouTube channel. But moving on back to Pokemon, Ducky.
All right, now let's roll into TCG. we got the set for that's going to be part of our Darkness Blazing set. I don't have the name in front of me.
Yeah,
so,
the firing, smoldering, something
about darkness and fire. So we got the second third of that set revealed in Japan's set, which it was going to be called World End, but then they changed it to Infinity Zone.
Yeah. So, yeah, they thought maybe World End's not the best for right now. We can use that later, maybe.
Right. So I read over all the cards and then compiled a list of the, coolest ones that I thought were, that were going to make the biggest impact on the game, and we'll just go over them one by one.
All right.
I guess you don't have the document, so
I don't have the document.
I'll go over them.
And I'm half afraid if I do it, I'm going to lose video. So let's just.
Yep, no problem. You just let me know what you think, and we'll go over our thoughts on each one of these.
I guess I could pull them up on my iPad. Keep going though.
So first off, we got Decidueye, grass type with 140 HP, evolves from Darktrix, and then its ability, this is what I thought was very interesting about it. Its ability is called Forest Camouflage. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks of your opponent's V and GX Pokemon. Now, we usually see a Pokemon with this kind of ability, like this Pokemon is not affected by attacks of GXs or, whatever the hardest hitting Pokemon are. They'll usually have a Pokemon immune to it. And if this card's not popular, we're going to see decks whose only attackers are Pokemon V. So it's like an auto win if you can get Decidueye out in front of them.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
So we'll start seeing flip-flops from them. You'll have to put a tech in that uses the same type of energy you use to, counter Decidueye decks.
Ouch.
And there's plenty of support right now for getting the evolution Pokemon to stage 2s. So
yeah, we are going back into we're definitely doing these. We're making people work to get evolutions done. They're not just being handed to them anymore.
It's starting to be worth it again. Next one is Dracovish, which because of its impact on VGC, lots of people have been excited to see what this card is going to do, and I don't think it's going to disappoint.
Now, do you really think it has that much of an impact on the VGC, or is it just the meme that was created by Wolfie Quick?
It did.
Is it just because of Wolfie?
I mean, its ability, it was hitting for 250%.
Okay.
Of its base.
It just seems like it's gone away.
It's gone away because people figured out how to counter it. But if you're not ready for it, it's still gonna wreck you.
Fair enough. But yeah, so a lot of times what we see is things happen in the VGC, then they translate over to the TCG. Whether that's planned or not, I don't know, or just coincidence, who knows. But in this case, we have Dracovish making a huge impact in the VGC when Sword and Shield debuted. Now we're getting a new high-impact Dracovish card for the TCG.
Right. So it's a stage 1. It evolves from Rare Fossil, which is, the new fossil that, these fossil Pokemon are going to have to evolve from. Its ability is called Primal Law. If this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, your opponent can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their Pokemon.
Can't play. So it's an evolution lock.
Evolve. Yeah.
It's an evolution lock. Wow.
Now, some of the decks that are popular right now aren't really going to be affected by this. I think but once we see a format where, there's less basics, once the tag teams are out, this card is going to be insane because most of those V Pokemon are going to be trying to get their V Max.
Yeah, I mean, having an evolution lock. Have we had a card that had an evolution lock before?
I believe they've been around before, but I don't think it was crazy meta. I think it was around at the same time as the EXs, and they were basics, so it wasn't really worth running it when Darkrai's hitting for just as much damage as the Megas. When Darkrai didn't have to evolve.
Fair enough.
Next up, we have Mimikyu.
Yeah,
it's a psychic type. A psychic type with 70 HP, and it's got Heal Stop. Your opponent's bench Pokemon can't be healed. I threw this in here because of the last time we talked about cards going out. There was this infinite healing combo I was coming up with, and Mimikyu would stop that. So
fair enough. Love me some Mimikyu. I really do.
it's not as bad as some of the Mimikyus we've gotten. There's two Mimikyus that just ruined my life when they came out.
Well, that and the cards they're never good looking cards. I'm hoping this is a good one. When we first started the Mount Moon podcast and the Mount Moon crew in general, before we got custom artwork and everything like that, we both had just Pokemon as our avatars for everything, and I always had my Mimikyus, and you always had your blue ducks, or your gold ducks rather.
Yes, we're one and the same.
So I'm always supportive of any kind of Mimikyu that wants to come out. So what the Galarian Obstagoon's next?
Yep. So it's a stage 2, obviously evolves from Galarian Linoon. Its ability is Bad Ruler. Once during your turn, you may have your opponent discard their hand until they have 4 cards left.
Ew.
That's getting banned and expanded.
Oh, they've already made that determination for the errata?
I'm just predicting it.
Well, it's not the first time it wouldn't be the first time we've seen an errata come out before the card even hits the street.
Right. Usually cards that mess with your opponent's hand, they've been banning those because there's too many cards legal in expanded, and they end up leaving your opponent with no hands on like turn 1 or 2.
Yeah, expanded, you don't really... Expanded's more of a territory where I'm not going to play Pokemon, I'm going to play abilities and items and supporters and everything like that just to completely destroy the state of the game. And I hated trying to do anything with expanded because, one, you can never memorize all the cards. If you can, better luck. You're better at it than I am. Because there's always cards that are going to pop up that you're not familiar with. And of course, some schmuck is going to bring some obscure card when combined with 7 other cards in a particular order. I mean, it's ridiculous. I've played in expanded. I can't put my heart into expanded because there is just way too much. What's that?
That seems like the kind of way you like to play.
I mean, I'm a jerk, but I'm a jerk within the rule set.
Yeah.
So, Galarian Obstagoon.
Yep. Next card we got is Hoopa.
Hoopa strong.
Hoopa is powerful. Were you surprised?
God, I hated that one.
So this one I think is going to make an impact after the next rotation. If they release the rule where you can attack on turn 1, Hoopa is going to be a monster. So Hoopa is a basic Pokemon, dark type, 120 HP, and for 1 dark energy, it has the move Assault Gate. Does 90 damage, but it can only attack if this Pokemon was switched from the bench to the active spot.
So this is going to end up being one of those ones where you have the person constantly swapping stuff in and out throughout the whole game, and that's because they're going to be wanting to use that. That's a pretty good swing for 1 energy. Imagine
having a little 60 HP Ralts on the field because you're trying to evolve up into your Gardevoir, and your opponent plays down 2 Hoopas and a switch.
Yeah, slap.
Yep.
It's all slappy.
It's basically Buzzwole hidden for...
Yeah, I can actually see that's a pretty good analogy. It is Buzzwole with Beast Energy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Buzzwole, but it's way easier to pull off.
At least you're limited in the number of switches you can have.
Yeah.
So then next we have, I can't pronounce.
Arctozolt, which is another one of those fossil Pokemon. It's a lightning type, and 130, and it evolves from the rare fossil, just like Dracovish, and it has the Numbing Vortex. Now this is going to pair with another Pokemon on the list. Whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon.
Ooh. See,
this will stack if you have more than one.
This is one of those cards that messes with people because people don't really understand a lot of times that damage counters and hitting for damage are 2 entirely separate things. And it's saying that you're not causing them damage, so you may have something that says prevent damage, but it doesn't prevent damage counters from being added. So, and that does mess with people a lot.
And there's a lot of Pokemon that are hitting for like 240. You know, like 240 seems to be the sweet spot that the strongest Pokemon are hitting. Mm-hmm. That's gonna, with a couple damage counters added just from your opponent trying to attach energy to them, it's gonna put them in Oko range from the other Pokemon. You know, this kind of thing stacking up over time is gonna, you know, be a doozy on some of the higher HP Pokemon.
Definitely. I mean, over a couple of turns, it's going to add up, especially those ones that require a higher amount of energy.
Exactly. So, even 2 energy, you know, taking 40 damage. You know, as well as if they're playing 1 Arctozolt, they probably have more than 1. So imagine if they had 3 Arctozolt and you took 60 damage from attaching 1 energy on your Pokemon.
Well, that could, yeah, that's definitely going to hurt you quite a bit. Next, I see Galarian Corsola V. Cursola, come on.
Yeah. But it's a basic because it's a V. And it has the ability Eating Aura. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, when your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put 3 damage counters on that Pokemon.
Again with the damage counters. So
that's 3 damage counters. Now this one won't stack because it has to be in the active position, but imagine having Galarian Cursola in the active and 3 Arctozolts in the back. You're taking 90 damage from attaching an energy.
God.
Yeah, and there's cards like Relicanth. I didn't put it on here, but the Relicanth card has an attack for 1 energy that lets you search for 3 of the rare fossils. So I think fossil decks are gonna, you know, be a thing. They're gonna have plenty of variety in how they play, and I think this Cursola Arctozolt deck is gonna definitely be a thing.
Yeah, the more we're seeing, it seems like there's always like a theme that sometimes Pokemon's trying to push on people, and it seems like the fossil deck might be the theme they're trying to push out on people right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least saying, hey, look, you might want to do this. Nudge, nudge, push, push.
Hey, look at this combo.
Hey, look at this. What a coincidence.
All right, next one. This is the biggest card. Instant $50 card right here.
Instant.
Probably more. I don't know yet. Probably at some point when they stop printing this set, it's going to go up to 100. Crobat V. It's a basic Pokemon. Ability is Night Asset. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. Sound familiar?
Wait a minute, read that one more time.
Once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to your bench, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand.
It sounds very familiar, but I can't remember which card it was that did it.
Shaymin EX.
There you go.
Now, they do have the disclaimer on here, you can't use more than 1 Night Asset ability during your turn, so it's not quite as good as Shaymin, because you could play all 4 of your Shaymins down in 1 turn if you wanted. So they realized how overpowered that was, and put a little bit of control on it.
Yeah, a lot of times when you get these, for lack of a better term, reprints, because that's essentially what they are. It's the same card with a different Pokemon. They will nerf it just a little bit.
They balance it.
Okay, we'll use that word. But yeah, so you never get the exact same thing. It's always a little bit nerfed.
So maybe that nerf is going to come into play with the price, but I have a feeling this card is still going to be a 4 of in people's decks.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one.
And it's actually weak. You would assume that Crobat, because it's flying, would be weak to electric. It's a dark type, weak to fighting.
Yeah. The type changes are going to throw people a little bit, but I think it's going to be a quick adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, it's Crobat on a dark type card. Looks good, just saying.
Just saying.
It's a pretty cool card. It's much better than Shaymin.
So, Eternatus VMAX.
Yeah. Okay. So I was really excited to
Eternatus
see
V and Eternatus VMAX. So I'm sorry, I skipped one.
So Eternatus V is obviously a V, 220 HP, basic. It's got the Power Excel, which it does 30 damage for 1 colorless energy, and it lets you attach a darkness energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. So a little bit of acceleration going there. And then it has the Dynamax Cannon attack for 1 darkness and 3 colorless, 120 damage, If your opponent's Pokemon is a VMAX, then it does 120 more damage. So that's 240 for 4 energy. Not that great. If you can pull it off, though, you're hitting pretty hard, pretty quick. But the real reason it's on there is for Eternatus VMAX. It has the ability Infinity Zone. Oh, it's a dark type with 340 HP.
Yeah, 340. That's a chunky little boy.
If all your Pokemon in play are dark types, you may have up to 8 dark type Pokemon on your bench, and you can't play any other type of Pokemon.
Skyfield's back.
It's Skyfield. I don't think you were playing yet, but do you remember which Pokemon benefited the most from Skyfield?
I don't recall. I remember playing against it.
Mega Rayquaza EX.
Yeah, that's right.
If you had 8 Pokemon on your bench, Mega Rayquaza could deal 240 damage.
Ouch.
It has the Eternatus VMAX has the attack Dead End for a dark energy and a colorless. It does 30 times the amount of dark Pokemon on your bench.
Ew.
Oh, no, it's the number of your dark Pokemon.
Okay, read it again.
So that's
slowly.
9 total.
Nice. Okay.
That's 9 total because you have dark. Unless it's translation error, that's 9 for a total of 270 damage for 2 energy.
Yeah, 2 energy. That's a heck of a bargain, folks.
That's gonna hit hard and fast, just like Mega Rayquaza did. It's not attacking on turn 1, like the Mega Rayquaza, extremely lucky speed deck shenanigans they had back then. But if you can fill your bench up with dark types, you're conceivably doing this on turn 2.
Conceivably, yeah. I mean, it's you're gonna have to have some pretty good draws, but
there is the added thing that you're not going to be able to use Pokemon like Dedenne because it has to be all dark types. But Crobat is a dark type.
Yeah. So again, you're seeing another archetype that Pokemon's trying to get out there and using essentially a new dark box.
Yeah, Mega Rayquaza is probably my second favorite deck I ever used, behind Gardevoir V, or Gardevoir Z. What is it?
I don't even know at this point.
GX. Gardevoir GX. Gardevoir VX.
Yeah, that's probably next year. Let's just be honest. Next up, we have Dreadnought V and Dreadnought VMAX.
Yep. So this is, remember I said about all the healing that water types are going to get with this next set. I think if you combo that with Frostmoth, the Frostmoth that we have, and Dreadnought, it's going to be a pretty huge force to reckon with. So Dreadnought V is a water type with 210 HP. Basic, its ability is Hard Shell. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. So if you're healing and taking less damage, you're conceivably, surviving hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, and you're just, yeah. So it could be a little bit of a tank and kind of like a meat shield for lack of nothing else.
Exactly. And for 2 water and a colorless, it has the Power Bite. For 130, the defending Pokemon can't retreat during the next turn, which means Zacian isn't going to be able to retreat after it uses its attack, and the attack says it can attack on the next turn. So the biggest strategy with Zacian is to attack and then switch out and retreat somehow.
Not so much with Dreadnought.
That's going to hold it in place a little bit. Now, it does have a retreat cost of 4, so if you're trying to set up behind another Pokemon's attack, it's going to suck having Dreadnought in the active position.
Well, I mean, there's enough supporters to use to not have to do to retreat the hard way. So, but still, that's a pretty hefty retreat cost, and it's the same for the VMAX version of the Dreadnought as well. It's also requiring 4.
So Dreadnought VMAX is a water type, 320 HP. Evolves from Dreadnought. It has the same ability, Hard Shell, where it takes 30 less damage from attacks, and its attack is water, or 2 waters and a colorless. It's Gmax Stone Surge, 160 damage, plus flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 80 more damage.
Ouch.
Now, we have cards like Will that let you choose the outcome of a coin flip.
So conceivably, you could lock it in, and you'd get that 240 damage.
Exactly. With Frostmoth, you are taking, you are able to attach as many water energy as you want per turn. So this attack's not hard to get off on turn 2.
No, it really wouldn't be. It's just a matter of getting the draws for the Dreadnaws.
240 on turn 2 is almost stopping. There's 2 decks. We've talked about 2 decks that are doing that already. That's almost as good and consistent as Zacian V.
Maybe you're gonna might see a meta change here.
I think we're gonna see a meta change, and what I really, really like about this next set, we talked about when we talked about Scorch being a counterpart to Gardevoir GX. We're getting a Mega Rayquaza GX counterpart. They're like printing the best cards from the previous formats in a new balanced way and putting them all out at the same time. So I am very excited to see where TCG goes, and I am considering hopping back into this.
Gonna be a pretty healthy investment for you at this point.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I still think I might wait until there's no more tag teams in format, but I mean, we'll see. Well, maybe somebody can convince me.
That's it for Pokemon. Now we're moving on to trainer cards, and it looks like the first one we got is Turbo Patch.
Yeah. So, Turbo Patch, you flip a coin. If heads, choose a basic energy from your discard pile and attach it to one of your Pokemon.
No, that excludes Pokemon GX.
Oh, yeah, it excludes Pokemon GX, which means you're not going to use it to power up your stupid tag team shenanigans. Sorry, Pikarom. You're not. You're gonna have to get more energy out.
That's enough of your shenanigans, Pikarom. So I've had enough.
Just put Pikarom and Reshizard in the parentheses instead of Pokemon GX.
I've had enough of your shenanigans, there, Charizard.
Yeah. I like this card. It's not too OP because you have to flip a coin. We've seen cards like. I think it was called Mega Turbo, which took basic energy from your discard and put it on a Mega. We've seen cards like Dark Patch and Water Patch or Aqua Patch that take those respective energies and put them on your Pokemon. So this is a more balanced way, and it's like a rainbow version.
True that. Next up, we got Peers.
Yeah.
Which is a supporter.
So, supporters, search your deck for 1 Dark Pokemon and 1 Dark Energy. Reveal them and put them in your hand. It's Volkner for Dark types.
Is it 1 Dark Energy or is it 1 of any energy? Because that's what I have listed as any one energy is what I have on my sheet.
That is what the text says. So it might just be 1 of any energy, which is busted because you can turn your Pierce into a Crobat and then get 1 of any energy type. Yeah, I was just assuming it was dark, but yeah, this does not specify. So it could be a translation thing. These cards were just revealed and translated. So we'll have to wait till the English versions actually come out. But if that's the case, this support is pretty decent.
Okay.
Right? Especially if you're running like the Eternatus deck with all dark types.
Next up, we have a special energy called Hide Dark Energy.
Yep.
Am I reading that
Hide
right?
Darkness Energy. Yeah.
Okay. So as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides dark energy. The retreat cost of the dark Pokemon this card is attached to is 0.
It's Zeraora on the board for electric types. So it's like reflecting the electric type shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
That can go on. Oh yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigans. I'm assuming this means
powerful.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Colorless. Colorless energy. Powerful colorless energy. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colorless energy. The attack of the colorless Pokemon this card is attached to 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon.
Sound familiar?
Is there anything really running color like normal type?
No. In the meta, just Cramorant. So that's all I know.
Not a big game changer there, maybe.
I think Snorlax I've seen some decks. They're like meme decks where people are using Snorlax VMAX and Meowth VMAX. There's some kind of Meowth deck that does stuff, but
that sounds like a meme deck if you ask me.
It's strong energy for normal types. So while there might not be many things that'll use it right now, I'm sure we'll see it. We'll see it in the future. This is the kind of thing that
Fair enough. That's all you got for new cards, Ducky. What the heck?
Well, what do you mean, what the heck? This is probably the longest list of cards we've ever reviewed.
That's true. It was nice to actually have a longer list for once, because everything's been pretty dry, but we do have a new set coming out, so that always leads us to have a list of new cards that we always try to talk about how they're going to incorporate themselves into the meta. And I think we've got some new cards here that are going to change the meta quite a bit. It's just a matter of how are people going to do what Pokemon wants them to do, or are they going to come up with some off the wall stuff like it happens about half the time?
Yeah, Darkness Ablaze, good set. I don't usually condone buying boxes, but I would probably buy a box of the set if I was playing.
Well, there's a couple cards in there that are probably going to be high end on the value side, so you could probably get your money back, maybe if you're lucky.
Don't buy it to get your money back, but do it to get your hands on some of these cards. Well, early and probably cheaper than they are when they come out.
Yeah, because once they hit like TCG Player and stuff of that nature, they're going to be up there for quite a while, I'd imagine.
Please let me have a pre-release for this set.
Okie dokie. Maybe. We'll see. It seems like stuff's starting to open back up. I mean, how are things up there for you?
So the shop that I have my league in, if anybody's wondering, it's actually open, but he is not holding any events yet. It's a maximum of 10 people allowed in store. The other people have to wait outside. But yeah, so.
Yeah, down here's down here's a lot of the same. We're gonna see what happens after everything's settled down from the way it is now. But for the most part, I think by the end of July, I think we should be back up and running for the most part. So I don't know if we'll get a pre-release on there, but it's not out of the question. I think you'll still get the build and battle boxes because they're going to make them no matter what, and I think it's just you'll be able to buy them as opposed to and you not having the tournaments. Which I enjoy the tournaments, and I think that's a great way to get people involved. And I've said that many, many times. Your first tournament should be a pre-release. It really should be. If you're going to take a friend and say, hey, I want to get you involved in Pokemon, pre-release is the best place to go ever. So hopefully this will have a pre-release tournament. That and get your hands on some of those, because those build-in battle boxes seems like they have glorious pulls. I don't know why. I've always had great luck with build-in battle boxes. So get out there. Come on, Pokemon. Give us a pre-release. Come on, state governments. Give us a pre-release. So that's all really we have for Pokemon. There was some downtime for Pokemon Go today, but if you're listening to this podcast, it's already come and gone. They did have an update on there, so hopefully some of their stability issues get worked out. If you are listening to this podcast this week, and it is June 1st, make sure you come back to our YouTube channel and check it out. There's going to be a lot of new content this week. As we talked about earlier, this week for the Untitled Anime Show, we're going to have the kickoff of the month of My Hero, where we're going to review all 4 seasons of My Hero Academia. If you tune in for something lighthearted, we're going to have some shenanigans videos coming out. And we are also debuting a new podcast that is completely adult-oriented, not has anything to do with Pokemon, has nothing to do with anime. It's called the Social Liability Podcast. Make sure you check that out. And that is myself and a co-host you've never met before. Name's Bucky, and no, he's not a Marvel superhero. He is a foul-mouthed man. So do not play that one with the children, folks. Make sure you're checking us out on social media. And I was talking to Duck, and I think I finally got it through his head, and he's going to start streaming on Twitch again. So make sure you're looking on Twitch for the Blue Duck Gold Duck. That's Blue Duck Gold Duck without the E. That is on Twitter, which he never uses. The same on Facebook, which he does use. And you can find me on Twitch at _Raspberry01. I've been streaming a lot of World of Warships lately, but anything else I happen to be playing, if I'm able to get my stream working, because for some reason my ISP hates me again. They're coming tomorrow. And you can also get on Twitter, which is the _Raspberry01, and on Facebook, which is the Raspberry01 without the underscore, folks, without. You can also search for @Mount Moon Podcast on Facebook. And if you, for the repository of all video knowledge, go to YouTube and type in the Mount Moon Crew, and you will find us there. Have I missed anything, Duck?
No, I don't believe so.
Then get us out of here.
All right, guys, until next time, just remember, if it's too good to be blue, it's probably gold.
Have a week.
Just because your card is magic, you think you're safe because you killed my life orb. Baby, do you dare to not flinch? 'Cause I'm coming at you like a dark pulse. I know you're gonna throw. You're gonna throw a star. But I got that lucky chance. There's no critical hits.